Hey everybody, Tennessee Fats here, and we're sitting out in the barn. It's interesting. It's something very funny occurred to me today. I was doing my thing, and I was clicking along through the interwebs there, and one of the things that came up was Comic Haul. I guess I didn't even realize I'd done this. I've subscribed to a channel on YouTube for somebody I did watch that's doing a Comic Haul, and when it came up, it suddenly occurred to me the direction that their cameras were pointing. It was away from them. And today, as I'm sitting here and I'm recording this, it occurs to me, why am I'm pointing the camera at me. I hope you guys don't mind looking at my ugly mug, because quite frankly put, if I'm talking to you, I don't think you should be facing away from me. So hence the reason why you're looking at me for these intros. With that out of the way, let's get into why are we here today. And today what I wanted to do is show you guys a comic haul that I picked up when I was down in Clearwater, Florida. I was actually at Fort DeSoto Beach earlier in the day, and after stopping off at Cracker Barrel to get myself some dinner, I was Googling and said comic shop near me, and Emerald City Comics, Games, and Toys, I think I got that name right, it's a long name, came up as being within 5 minutes of the restaurant. So I went by. It's an interesting one. I tell you, here I am a month later, I'm back in Canada now, I'm recording this one. I've gone through the comics that actually came out of the haul because I kept them in a bag with me, and I got them right there. We'll go through those shortly. And I'm looking back on my experience in this store, and I want to give you guys a quick Cole's notes on what I thought of this place. First of all, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. It has two massive rows going down, and I'm talking Home Depot style aisles that run the width of the store going side to side, that are just chock-a-block full of back issues and statuettes. If you're looking for any sort of toys, statuettes, or anything like that, I would strongly encourage you to go to this place. The back issue selection is massive. Like, it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, which is good in and of itself. If you're out there just picking up issues in a run or whatever you're trying to do, back issues is the mainstay of the comic collector. So yes, it's a good thing for you. It also has a massive wall selection on higher grade books and higher value books, which I went through, and I had a great time doing it. It's a really interesting place. It also has a huge graphic novel selection and toys. It even has an arcade game set up in there where you can put in actual quarters to play arcade games, which I was like, wow, that's archaic, but sure, whatever. It works. It keeps the kids happy, which is a good thing. Looking back on this thing, the only thing that comes to mind, and it sticks out repeatedly every time I think about this shop, and it's really interesting, is that I strongly got the feeling that the staff there did not care that I was there at all. I got the feeling that they really did not want me there. And it's interesting because I spent years in retail and in the service industry, so I know we all have good days and bad days. I understand what that means. You can't be on 2, 4, and 7 all the time. But I tell you, I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit here. I'm not some small time, I'm gonna nickel and dime everybody collector. When I go into a shop and I see a high grade book and a high value book, if it's something I'm looking for, I'm gonna buy it. So really, word to the wise to comic shops, you probably want to be showcasing your stuff to me. You want to show me what you got. And it's interesting because I go in and I go to a wall and I start picking through, like, I want that one, that one, that one, that one, because they were on my list, and they had a great selection. They did. But the staff, I just got a sense that there was no dialogue. The guy had absolutely no interest in discussing why I was looking at what I was looking at, discussing the books themselves with me, which I just thought was fascinating. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm here, and just based on what I had already picked up, I was already hundreds of dollars deep into this thing. And I'm like, really? You really don't want to have a chat with me? Are you sure about that? And this is an interesting thing. I guess it takes a fair amount to get my back up, but what does get my back up is when I go into a shop and I'm just getting ignored. It just says to me, okay, you really don't want my business. Now, again, I wasn't being ignored. I just really got a sense from the staff that they could care less. Again, I'm just assuming it's a bad day. As far as I was concerned, though, the shop itself, really good shop. This is not an LCS shop. This is a destination shop. If you are in the area, stop by. If you're buying comics, if you're buying graphic novels, if you're buying, I guess, statuettes. Not a lot of toys, but statuettes. If those are the three things you're looking for, this is a good one to go to. If you're in the Tampa area, head over. It just makes sense. If you're further out than that, well, now do your own research and decide whether you really want to go there. Anyway, that's enough of me babbling. Let's get on to the comic. Okay, so here we are. So this is the stack of books. Now, you're seeing one, this I guess would be a Silver Age book, sitting on top of the stack. The rest is all modern, so caveat right there. Now, you're going to look at this one, you're going to say, why? What the hell is going on here? Well, I'll tell you what the hell is going on here. This is one of the early Charlton comics. For any of you who have read my rants or read my, or watched my videos, you would know that Charlton Comics is something that I do actively collect. I did not have this one. This is not the first appearance of the Question. This is not a key issue for the Question. This is not something where all the collectors are out there running around saying, oh, I gotta have this because it's a new find, it's a key. But it is one I didn't have. And it's in pretty crappy condition. This is good, if it's anything. But it was cheap. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take that. Funny, I had to get this off the wall, which surprised me. I would think this would be something you would find in a bin, but whatever. Anyways, that's the only silver find that you have in the entire run. Let's get into the modern stuff. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's you. Okay. Yeah, Superman number 75 and I, for anybody who's watched my other videos, we have this weird relationship. When I see it, I buy it. I don't want to talk about how many issues I have of this, and it's none of your damn business. Actually, it probably is. Somebody will at some point in time say, Tennessee Fats, can you count out how many issues of this you have? It's a lot. That's all I have to say. But yeah, anyways, I did the same thing I always do. I ran my finger down the spine to feel for ticks. I did not feel a single tick in this. The clerk was rolling his eyes at me. He's like, what are you, some sort of comic whisperer? Well, no, I'm not, but at least I'm smart enough to do that. Anyways, yeah, that's that one. Oh, these guys. Okay, so the next ones. This was part of a set. Like, this was both sitting in one bag, and it's Thor number, 411 and 412. This is on my list right now. The New Warriors. Now, this is me speculating, okay? I am not some super genius comic speculator. If I was, I'd already be rich. But I'll tell you, every once in a while, I do try to pick them, and I do tend to pick things correctly. With Marvel throwing as many let's call them low-cost characters at the screen as possible to come up with as much as they can in movie revenue, it's only a matter of time before they start diving into these guys. Marvel Boy, Kid Nova, Firestar, possibly. Namorita, well, with Namor, you know what comes next. Yeah. So, the New Warriors, I think, is something that's going to start getting picked up. And I think that you're probably going to see these books starting to rise for no other reason other than just survival. They were a series, and it had a good long run in the 90s. And people were buying them then. It's only a matter of time before that same nostalgia-type garbage that leads to the schlock that you see in the theaters now leads to, hey, let's make a New Warriors movie, or let's make a New Warriors Netflix show or something. Of course, not Netflix, obviously, because, well, we all know what's happening with Disney and Netflix. Anyways, now this one. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and go, okay, why Tennessee Fats? Okay, Ultimate X. This was the story that came out after the whole Ultimate, Siege? Was that what it was? Was that the thing where they had all the characters, like everybody was dying in every issue? I don't remember. Anyways, this is the start of the X-Men again, after that whole mess and just devolved. The Ultimate Universe for Marvel Comics is a weird one. Back in the day they had, what was the new universe, I remember that. And they had a whole bunch of parallel universes where they had parallel Earth-like stories devolving. The Ultimate Universe, obviously, being one that collapsed in, then expanded out. I don't even know where it's at now. I have no clue. But I do know Miles Morales, for some reason, is in the main Marvel continuity, which, really? I don't understand that. But I guess with them popping back and forth between dimensions, why not? This is the first appearance, Ultimate X number 1, of what they call Wolverine's son in the Ultimate Universe. Now, do I think there's something to it? I do think there's something to this. You have Dakin being the main Wolverine's son in the main Marvel continuity. I have all sorts of his first appearances, and I'm buying more. But this is my speculation, because these are relatively cheap. You can pick these up for like less than $10. You can pick some of these up for less than $5. And this is the second printing variant. I didn't have this one. Now, it's in shitty condition. No question about that. Tick, 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 tick. But at least it's one more sitting in the collection of this guy's first appearance. Now, again, this is, what's the guy's name? Arthur Adams. I could go in a variety of directions with this conversation. I'm going to say this. He does good stuff. His art's okay. So I'm not going to argue. It's somewhat weird in some ways, but you know what? Who cares? This is a good one to pick up. And this is me specking. This is where I'm specking. Okay, last one. Okay, yeah. Some of you have already seen my video I put up where I said Tennessee Fats goes to blank comic shop. And I had this weird, what I'm settling out at sort of the medium position on that shop. I edited out the name of that one because, quite frankly put, I saw something in there that I didn't think was cool. And I'm hoping it's a clerical issue. Anyways, this was really weird for me. I went to that shop, had a bad experience, but then the saving grace that brought it up to medium was that I found a book that I've been looking for since 1992, which is this book. And a lot of people say, Tennessee Fats, why do you even care about this? Well, everybody knows about my fixation with Superman number 75. I buy everything Death of Superman related. I have never seen, prior to this last trip to Florida, the second, third, fourth, or fifth print of this book ever in the wild. Ever. So when I saw the second print when I was at blank comic shop, I bought it without thinking. This place, again, I'm up there, I'm looking at the comics on the wall, and there it is. So again, didn't think, just bought. That was all I bought that was on the wall. So it's not a huge haul by any means, but here's the stuff that actually shows you this store has some depth. Here, hold on for a second. Let me grab this stuff. Reaching me way behind me, way out and back. Okay. Bump. Yeah. Can we even see? Yeah, we can see that. Yeah. And this is number 2, right? Yeah. Number 2 of that. Okay. These. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, what the f? These are clear, acid-free backer boards by Slab Pro. You can't find these anywhere right now. I found these once, and I bought 2 packages of them. I fell in love with them instantly, and I actually did include them in a prior video where I said, this is this really cool thing that I found. If you want to see the backs of your books, by all means. You can buy, I believe you can still find the modern size on Amazon for some people who are still selling out their stock. This is the Silver Age size. This was just sitting there with their regular supplies. These are the only 2 packages they had. I do board and bag all of my modern books in Silver Age boards and bags. I double board them and everything so they're nice and tight. But I do that because I'm always terrified of them bouncing around. So I'm buying Silver Age, and there's a reason for that, because that's what goes in the My Lights and goes with the good books. But these are cool. I found these. Now, they weren't cheap. $18 a pack. Yeah, that's $1.80 per board. These ain't cheap, but you know what? Yeah, seeing these was like, whoa, yeah, I'll grab that. So that sort of said, okay, this place has some depth. And this. That's why. Here's where the piece de resistance came on. Oh my god, I'm reaching behind me again. Oh, it gets old. Okay, now when I put this up, I'm gonna have to move around the camera, so bear with me here. What the fridge is this, Tennessee Fats? What are you looking at? Well, hold on. Moving you back. Okay. This is Superman Salutes the Bicentennial. This was this giant magazine-sized book that DC put out. DC puts out a lot of these things. Now, again, when you find these in the wild, they're always in old, crappy bags. The boards barely cover them, and they're always in crappy condition. This image of Superman standing in front of the shield with an eagle on it. This is taken from, and bear with me, it's an early Superman issue. Oh, I can't remember the number for the life of me. It's in the teens. Who cares? Anyways, but you have a choice. If you want a book with this image, you either buy Superman Buys the Bicentennial, you buy some crazy trade paperback that might have it sitting on the cover, or you buy the original Superman book. That's a pricey buy. So I found this. Every time I see this in the wild, it's like $100 or $200. I have no idea where any dealer ever would get away with thinking, hey, I can charge $200 for this. That makes no sense to me. That being said, 100, and there have been a lot of times where I've been seriously tempted to buy this. Seriously, but they've always sort of been condition. This one is really good condition. Now somebody's taken the time to grade this, and they've graded this as F+, fine plus. I don't know. I don't even know how you would grade. I guess I'll have to check the Overstreet grading thing and see how you would grade something like this. I have no clue. I bought it because I've always wanted it. And again, it was one of those things like, what? And they had a box of nothing but this sized items sitting in these 2 giant aisles that I referenced earlier. Other boxes full of magazines, Conan magazines and Vampirella and that sort of stuff. But these giant limited collector's edition things, whole box full of them, and they had 2 or 3 issues of this. I picked the best one as far as condition was concerned, as far as I was concerned, at the right price. So, damn, this place really pulled it off. I was impressed. Okay, so that was the haul. It is a small haul. It's not a case where I went through, oh, here's my 150 books. It was just some small incidental things, and I'll tell you, each one of those individual books were things that were on my quote-unquote shopping list. I got to tell you, for me to have found that many books on the list, you got to think a few things are on the list to begin with, and how much must have been on the wall and in the bins for me to find what I did find. That place is impressive. It has a good selection. So my sense on this one, in closing, yes, if you're in the overall Tampa area, head in there. Check it out. It is entirely worth it. If you're heading into Tampa because you got to be there for, I don't know, maybe you're going to a con, by all means swing by on your way back out of town if you're heading in that particular direction. Otherwise, take a day trip. It's worth it. Also, spend some time at Fort Del Soto Beach. It's actually a really nice place. You'll thank me for that later. So anyways, as I say, all the links are going to pop up now for all the linking and the subscribing, blah, 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 blah. But all I care about is, hey, I hope you have yourself a great day.